We are back. The reset button returns. Special guest, the Melees on Optic and Mellow. Good to have you back. It's that time, Tannen. Once again this week. Thank God Almighty, it was my turn to pick this week. We're not going to Bedrock. We're not gonna get too old for this shit with Riggs and Murtaugh. My game of the week was a good game. At least half of us think. Shadow Dancer for the Sega Genesis, Tannen.
Yeah, Shadow Dancer, not to be confused with the 2012 thriller/drama.
I didn't even know that was a thing. Glad I don't. Yeah. It's technically an entry in the Shinobi series, Tannen.
Yes, it is actually, and it would be the final arcade game in the Shinobi series, actually, following the original Shinobi itself.
Can't imagine why.
I thought it was good. I don't know. I played, of course, I played my version on the Switch, and I enjoyed it.
Same.
It worked out really well for me.
Did you save states like an asshole like I did?
No, I didn't.
It's pretty bad when you got to use save
states
states to get to level 2. I mean, I don't cheat. Like, I don't fucking, I don't like replenish my fucking lives. I don't want to play over the. That's my biggest gripe about Shadow Dancer, Tannen, is when you die, you got to go all the fucking way back. I hate that shit.
Oh yeah, well, it's just like the arcade, But at the same time, though, unlike the arcade, you can't just pump more quarters in and keep going.
Oh, the arcade was actually good.
Yeah, that's another glaring thing too about this. This was tweaked. It's different than the arcade version. They gave you like a meter for your dog and just some enemy placement tweaks, and I think some of the level designs are flat out redone. Released in 1990 for the Genesis, though. I mean, at the time, I never played this as a kid. I never had it, never rented it. I didn't play this till like my late teens, early 20s. But I loved it. I fell in love with it. I still love it. I think it's responsive. It's no like Return of Shinobi or Shinobi 3, but I think it's fun. I think there's a hell of a challenge there, but it's one of those rewarding challenges. Tan, it's like, for me, it's like a Contra or a Castlevania 3. Like, if you get somewhere in it, you feel good about it,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Our guests don't feel the same, though, unfortunately.
Well, when you say rewarding, it's like
Badge
saying
of honor.
That, like someone shitting in your hand is rewarding. I mean, really, this fucking game, man. It's like, I played the other Shinobis and I really liked the Shinobi. I even liked the fucking, like the later ones with the fucking full motion video, awkward shit, and like those are like nice, solid fucking games. Nice and speedy. They actually felt good to fucking play. This one was like, yeah, it's responsive, but it's kind of stiff, and they really do shit with the fucking enemy placement where they place them in ways where like sometimes you'll get shot from off screen, or you're just walking and then like, it'll just happen, and it's always like right at the end they'll be like, oh look, a manhole, like that first fucking level, manhole cover just fucking blows up like right there, like right at the end as you're leaving.
40-foot high period,
like,
blood shooting out of it.
Yeah, it's like dumb shit like that. It's just like, what I never liked arcade ports on consoles unless they were like like Metal Slug or some shit, because at least you can just continue whatever, like who gives a shit. But like stuff like that where they tried to water down like the experience so that it could fit onto the cartridge, and they get it out there and you're just like, it is a pale comparison to what you have in the arcade, to the point where no, Shadow Dancer. Here's the thing. I actually tested this. I played a little of the arcade one, and you know what? 1,000 times better. 1,000 times. Like, it's night and day.
I can agree with that, but that's like saying Double Dragon. The arcade's better than the NES version. Of course, it's better than the NES version.
No, actually, the arcade version of the first Double Dragon was terrible. It was skippy as shit.
The first one was laggy, and the second one was just like a remake of the first one.
Yeah, basically.
The second one on NES is a better game.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. Second one is solid, but the thing is, what it feels to me is that Sega, they were like, hey, we kind of want to take this good arcade game. Can we find people on the '80s version of Wish that can like fucking do this for us?
Come on, it's not that bad.
And so they got some from some Indian sweatshop to fucking make this fucking bad port of a fucking arcade game.
I think for me, guys, I think we might agree across the board on this. I think the best arcade port for the Sega Genesis, hands down, was Strider. Fair to say?
I can't think of a bad one. It's a pretty good choice.
It was decent, yeah.
Another Ninja game. Maybe we'll get there someday, Tannen. Well, Tannen, here's my question to you. How far did you get? Because I know you only really fired it up for a little bit tonight. Did you get to at least stage 2?
Yeah.
So I really love their take on the bonus stage on this. You're just literally like free falling like an asshole, shooting ninjas on your way down.
The bonus stage is the best part.
It's the best part of the game, and I feel like I agree, and I feel like little kid me would have thought that was fucking awesome.
I mean, it was at least better than that one where it did like that, like in the very first one where they had that first person thing where you're throwing the ninja stars, which is like, yeah, it's kind of cool, but it also fucking cheats.
Yeah, I was also disappointed in the lack of Marilyn Monroe pictures in the background, like the first Shinobi.
Yeah, I kind of wanted Spider-Man, like in the first Shinobi.
This is much better than fucking Shinobi on NES, in my opinion. Our other panelists tonight, Mello. I know you're not a fan of Shadow Dancer, but is the hate flow? Is it as flow and as strong as Optics hate for this, or do you think it's 50-50 for you?
Let me tell you something.
Oh God!
Lean into it, Mello.
My first thought upon playing this game was, "Oh wow, he invited me back on the show, and this is what he has me play. Wow, he must fucking hate me or something."
You should have been here. You should have been here fucking 2 weeks ago when it was Lethal Weapon. You got off lucky. Christ.
No, you're 100% right.
Wow, this is a hate crime.
It made me think of it reminded me a lot well, my second impression was I thought I was sitting down to play like Shinobi and not like Contra 3 the Alien Wars, but all right. I'm down. Oh, I start back at the start again. Well, this is great.
Wait,
so anyway, I get to the end of the first level. The sewer manhole kills me. Oh, that was cool. I liked that. All right, I'm beating this out of spite. I got to level 2-1, walked 10 feet, got killed by something off screen, said done, and turned it off.
But at least it doesn't pull the Ninja Gaiden shit where they like sometimes the fucking guys won't even be there because of flicker issues, or it'll just be like randomly play. Like at least it's trial and error, and it's the same fucking spots. I feel like
my actual thought on the game as a whole, like I didn't hate it. Like it's functional.
It starts.
It's the only thing I don't like about it is the pacing, because you have to kind of inch along or you die. Right. It's one of those games. It's like, as I say, it reminds me of Mega Man 9, a game I like very much.
Yeah.
But it took me 7 months to beat that game, because the only way you're ever going to beat Mega Man 9 is to memorize the enemy patterns, where they are, what they're going to do when you see them. If you do that, Shadow Dancer is a very beatable game. I just think it's little punishing.
You just got to buckle the fuck down. It's one of those games. I agree with that about the pacing. Tannen, I feel like for me, the best Ninja retro game of all time is still probably Ninja Gaiden 2. And I think what makes those games so fun is you can just, I don't want to say speed run it because I'm not a fucking jackass, but like you just, the flow of that, you can kind of breeze through your hop and your flip.
The Gaiden games definitely had a good flow to them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, then they did Ninja Gaiden 3 and then they had that fucking... The thing is, I beat that game a number of times.
You beat the last boss in 3 fucking forms. Holy shit!
I have completed Ninja Gaiden 3 a couple of times.
My God.
I mean, I couldn't be fucking asked to do it fucking now.
Tip of the hat.
But fucking like when I was a kid, I didn't really have a lot of games. When I was a kid, so it was like when I got Ninja Gaiden 3, it was like that's what I had for like months. So that was it. So I played that fucking thing, and dude. The game itself, it's like, yeah, it's hard, but like getting through most of the game is not that fucking bad.
You can learn it.
Yeah, it's not that bad at all. There's not even a lot to really learn. It's just like, basic fucking avoidance when you see something. You knowing like at least like a handful of patterns. But like when you get to the end, it's like, okay, you have those patterns, you have that stuff, but oh yeah, the first stage is wind. So you have a really strong wind pushing you off of shit, and if you get touched once, you fly off that fucking shit.
Yeah, and like Ninja Gaiden 2, at least they let you build up to at least level 2 or 3 before they threw the wind in there. I
always hated those fucking wind stages. They were fucking stupid.
Go Go ahead, sorry.
It was best done in 2 because it was like
Built around it.
Well, they built around it by not having the enemies be super cheap in those areas. I mean, yeah, there was some cheapness, but it was one of those things where like the enemy placement was a little more sparse when they were doing the wind parts, so that was like, okay, so you can contend with what's going on, because they also did that level where everything goes dark.
Yeah.
So it's like it's more of focusing on your jumping and navigating through the level as opposed to fighting shit. Whereas Ninja Gaiden 1 and fucking 3 were just like, oh yeah, here's this fucking part where we're just gonna throw a bunch of wind at you, just fucking have respawning birds. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Did you like Mario 1? Here's the lost levels. Enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
This game, Shadow Dancer, didn't actually sell well on the Genesis, and this game's...
Oh, wow.
Well, I'm going somewhere with this. It's confusing to me because the arcade game is called Shadow Dancer: The Secret of Shinobi, and by the time I just made it to Genesis, it was just called Shadow Dancer. Here's my thing.
Shadow Dancer, yeah.
Shinobi was a popular series. Why not just call it The Secret of Shinobi? What the fuck, Shadow Dancer? Ballet?
That's the thing. It was 1990, you said, right?
Yes.
Well, the thing is that Shinobi was having diminishing returns at the time. It wasn't really selling super well. That's why they kind of dropped the Shinobi.
Right.
Okay. I was going to say, for 1990...
Because you are Shinobi. That's Shinobi. You're still him. It's just
you're
really
definitely
weird.
Shinobi.
Is it because there's an animal with you? We just got to rethink our fucking inks and change the whole name? Or I guess maybe like you just said, they were worried because the first one didn't do as great.
Well, Revenge of Shinobi, it was one of those games where like Revenge of Shinobi was their big. It was a big marquee game when the thing came out. It was like those early Genesis hands. It was Altered Beast, Revenge of Shinobi, and fucking Holyfield Boxing.
Super
Like
Thunderblade, the greatest Genesis game of all time. God,
those are your big marquee titles when the thing came out. Like they were really pushing hard on that. But the thing is that the least selling one was Shinobi.
Shannon, please don't give me Super Thunderblade next week. Go ahead. Sorry, Optic.
Yeah, it's like when you're talking in terms of like success in the United States, Shinobi did do incredibly well. Because at that point, people were kind of ninja'd out because we're talking the end of like the ninja craze in movies, where like every fucking movie was like American Ninja this or fucking Ninja that bullshit.
And we were balls deep in the Ninja Turtles phenomenon too in this.
Yeah, it was kind of at that point they're just like, whatever, who cares?
This was the zombie genre of modern times. Guys that weren't around at this time remember this time. Ninjas was the zombies back then. Fair to say?
Because even Ninja Gaiden actually had a solid decline in sales of the series. So it was like
by 3, absolutely.
Oh, the first one did incredibly well. The second one did pretty well, but it didn't do as good as the first one. And then the third one barely sold shit.
It almost seems like the second one had distribution issues too, but I did see that one way more than I saw the third one.
Well, there was a chip shortage that year. That's why
That's
why Super Mario Brothers 3 came out a little later and cost $90.
Yeah.
People forget that when people complain about game prices now, they're like, "Oh, fucking the PS5 games are $70." It's like, dude,
should have seen when this shit was new. If Wing Commander comes out, I got to upgrade my whole computer.
Earthbound was $100 because it had a fucking book in it.
No, but I'm talking like something like the port of the original Street Fighter. That was almost $100 at retail. Like we're talking back that people like to talk about.
Imagine opening that up Christmas morning.
Now, if you adjust that for inflation, that's basically the price of a system right there.
Yeah.
So like, if this fucking game system's like $500, that's fucking crazy. It's like, dude, fucking the original PlayStation was like $600.
It's also shit too, just like that. Why none of us as kids, maybe I'm taking a guess here, but I'm pretty sure none of us owned a Neo Geo or knew anyone that had a Neo Geo. I didn't.
I knew a kid that owned it.
There was one kid at Clear Spring that did have one.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew a kid that owned one, but he would never let anyone touch it because he only had one game. And
did he have Art of Fighting?
I think that.
It's either one. It's either no kids or it's just one fucking kid. If you ask anybody,
yeah, that's what.
I think like Art of Fighting came with it for a while.
As it should.
Oh, probably.
But
like $500 each.
No, they were about like they were between $150 and $200 because they were essentially just the arcade boards.
Yeah, that's why they were so fucking
that's
huge.
It was literally just the arcade board, like the ROM board, just put in a cartridge.
Yeah. Let's go around here across the table. Start with Mello. What do you give Shadow Dancer 1 out of 5?
It's such a difficult rating for me to give because I believe from a game from 1990, it's actually fairly well made, and I actually understand why it's as hard as it is. But I never want to play it again. So, like, I have to give it like a spiteful 3.
A spiteful 3. That's fair. That's fair as
That's
fuck.
That's better than average.
Much generous than this guy's about
I
to
think
give
it's
it.
better made than average. I think that's fair. I just don't like it.
Optic.
You want my score?
What do you give Shadow Dancer?
0.
Oh,
Point
come on.
0.
Oh,
0.
come on.
Jesus Christ.
It was a goddamn mess.
Ooh, that is brutal. But hey, opinions, man. Last but not least, Tandem Manum, what do you give Shadow Dancer?
Well, you said 1 out of 1 to 10.
1 to 5.
1 to 5.
You could do 10.
5 being the best, 1 being the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3. It's not a bad game. It's not a bad game, but it's not the
0.
greatest game ever.
Point 0.
I mean, is it a game that, like, I definitely want to, like, go back and, play over and over? Not really. Yeah, you gave it to me. I played it for a little bit. It's okay.
Put in the
I'm
other
not gonna
Shinobis.
Yeah, well, compared to the other Shinobis, I mean...
Yeah. Play Shinobi 3 and then get back to me.
Right. Like, go play that. You'll have a better time.
Well, that's not fair. You get a fucking horse in that game. You can't compete.
They had the technology to put a horse in the game. They chose not to. They gave you a dog.
Yeah, but a horse doesn't immediately make things good. A perfect example is that Back to the
Back
Future
to the
3
Future
game.
3.
Oh, fuck. For Sega. Yeah, oh my god. If you give me that now because he said that, Tannen, I swear to fucking God. No, that means you got to play it too. I don't think you would even go to that link to yourself. I'm going to give it a 4.
It'd be the shortest review ever. I played it for 5 minutes, gave up, and I never want to play it again, and I destroy any copy I visually see.
Exactly. I give Shadow Dancer a 4. I love this game. For me, I think it's highly addicting. Just that grindy. I just got to go back and keep. Yeah, it's hard as fuck, but a good kind of hard. And for someone who Castlevania is my favorite game series of all time, it's right up my alley. It's not perfect, but I feel like I have way more fun in this game than I should, but I do. And I got to be honest, I love Shadow Dancer, and I would recommend it. It's not the best Shinobi game by far, but it's really enjoyable for me. And I'm glad that everyone kind of had a different take on it. And if everybody agreed, this shit would be boring as fuck. So I'm glad we did it. The Band-Aids ripped off. That's Shadow Dancer. Check it out for yourselves, guys. Get your own prerogative. Don't listen to us. Get out there, check it out. The Genesis Collection is not too pricey. And worst case scenario, emulate that shit.
If you like bullet hells and you like hard games, it should be right up your alley. It is playable. I just never want to play. I find it frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you hate yourself enough.
If you like